Welcome back to the harsh light of truth. You are watching this because a specific, agonizing movie is playing on a loop in your mind. You imagine the narcissist with the new supply. You picture the fireworks, the passion, the endless nights that you once thought belonged only to you. You are tortured by the idea that they have finally found the one, that person who unlocked a version of them you couldn't reach. You fear that the intimacy they are experiencing right now is deeper, wilder, and more satisfying than anything you ever shared. You are lying awake, haunted by the thought that you were the practice round, and the new supply is the main event. It is a visceral, gut-wrenching pain that makes you feel inadequate, replaced, and utterly forgotten. But I am here to stop that movie reel and burn the film. What you are imagining is a fantasy constructed by your trauma, not a reality based on facts. You are projecting human emotions onto a creature that does not function like a human being. You assume that because they look happy in photos, they are satisfied in the bedroom. This is the great deception. The narcissist wants you to believe this. They broadcast their honeymoon phase specifically to triangulate you, to make you jealous, and to keep you in a state of low vibrational despair. But behind the closed doors of that bedroom, a very different, very dark cycle is already beginning to turn. We are going to expose the boredom cycle. This is not a possibility, it is a biological inevitability. The narcissist does not experience intimacy, they experience consumption. When they met you, they consumed you. Now, they are consuming the new supply. But here is the secret they are terrified you will learn: consumption has a shelf life. The wrapper comes off, the product is used, and the novelty fades. And for a narcissist, the moment the novelty fades is the moment the psychological torture begins. They are not having soul-bonding sex, they are engaging in a repetitive, mechanical extraction of dopamine that is rapidly losing its potency. You need to understand that the new supply is not a person to them, they are a drug. And like any drug addict, the narcissist builds a tolerance. The first hit is euphoric. The second is great. The 10th is okay. By the 100th hit, they are feeling nothing. They are staring at the ceiling, numb, bored, and angry. Yes, angry. Because in their twisted mind, the new supply is supposed to keep them high forever. When the high wears off, they don't blame their own addiction, they blame the drug. They blame the partner. They start to look at the new supply with the same cold, dead eyes they eventually turned on you. The boredom cycle in the bedroom is the most confirming evidence of their pathology. It proves that the problem was never you. It wasn't your body, your skills, your libido, or your passion. It was their inability to sustain interest in anything that they have already conquered. To a narcissist, sex is about conquest and validation. Once the conquest is secured, once the new supply is in love, moved in, or married, the game is over. The challenge is gone. And without the challenge, the narcissist's libido flatlines. They are biologically incapable of sustaining desire for something they already own. This video is going to walk you through the terrifying timeline of their bedroom dynamics. We will dissect the initial love-bombing sex, which is nothing more than a performance, to the inevitable switch, where they become cold, demanding, or entirely withhold intimacy. You think the new supply is getting the best of them? No. The new supply is currently trapped in a cage with a predator who is realizing they are hungry again, and the food in front of them no longer looks appetizing. The new supply is about to experience the soul-crushing rejection you know so well. Why is this secret knowledge? Because the narcissist spends 100% of their energy hiding this boredom. They will cheat, they will watch pornography, they will fantasize about others, anything to mask the fact that they are incapable of connecting with the person right next to them. They are terrified of being seen as empty. If the world knew that they get bored of everyone, their mask of the great lover would shatter. We are going to shatter it for them today. You must stop romanticizing their new relationship. Stop telling yourself that they changed. A shark does not become a vegetarian just because it swam to a new ocean. The mechanics of their disorder are fixed. They are doomed to repeat the same cycle of idealize, devalue, and discard until they die. The boredom you felt creeping into your relationship? It is already creeping into theirs. The silence in the bedroom? It is already descending. The criticism? It is on the tip of their tongue. We are going to confirm, with psychological precision, why the narcissist is likely looking at the new supply right now with a feeling of profound irritation. We will explain why they detach during the act, why they need kinky or deviant stimulation to feel anything, and why they will eventually punish the new supply for the crime of being familiar. You are not missing out on a love story, you are missing out on a horror show that is currently in its second act. Prepare yourself. We are going into the dark reality of the narcissist's bed. It is a cold, lonely place filled with performance, dissociation, and an insatiable hunger that can never be filled. By the end of this video, you won't be jealous. You will be relieved. You will see that you escaped a black hole that sucks the light out of everything it touches. Let's reveal the truth. To understand the boredom cycle, you must understand the narcissist's relationship with dopamine. They are not chasing a person, they are chasing a neurotransmitter. The early stages of intimacy with the new supply are flooded with dopamine because of the anticipation of reward. The chase, the seduction, the uncertainty, this is what turns them on. It is the hunter instinct. But once the catch is made, the dopamine drops. This is biological. They literally cannot chemically sustain the high. When you see them with the new supply, you are seeing them high on a chemical. But the crash is inevitable, and the crash is brutal. We must discuss object permanence and objectification. To the narcissist, the new supply is a shiny new toy. When a child gets a new toy, they play with it obsessively. They sleep with it. They carry it everywhere. But what happens 2 months later? The toy is thrown in the corner, gathering dust. Why? Because the toy didn't change, the child's perception of it changed. It became a known quantity. The narcissist objectifies partners. They do not connect with the soul inside the body, they consume the novelty of the body. Once the body is explored, mapped, and conquered, it becomes just another object in the room. The Coolidge effect is rampant in narcissism. This biological phenomenon describes a renewed sexual interest whenever a new female, or male, is introduced to a male, or female, rat, even after sexual exhaustion with prior partners. Narcissists are slaves to this effect. They are biologically wired to crave variety over depth. They mistake this craving for falling out of love. They will tell the new supply, the spark is gone, or we aren't compatible anymore. This is gaslighting. The spark isn't gone because of compatibility. The spark is gone because the narcissist requires a constant rotation of strangers to feel alive. Intimacy requires vulnerability, and vulnerability is the narcissist's kryptonite. Real, sustaining sex requires two people to drop their guards and merge. This terrifies the narcissist. They view vulnerability as weakness. So, once the initial lust fades, and the relationship demands deeper emotional connection to sustain the sex life, the narcissist checks out. They hit a wall. They cannot go deeper. They stay on the surface, and surface-level sex gets boring very, very quickly. They detach to protect themselves from being seen. This leads to dissociation in the bedroom. Survivors often report that the narcissist seemed to have dead eyes, or looked like they were somewhere else during sex. This is because they were somewhere else. To cope with the boredom of a familiar partner, the narcissist dissociates. They retreat into a fantasy world. They are likely thinking about porn, an ex, maybe even you, or a stranger they saw at the gym. They are using the new supply's body as a masturbatory aid while their mind is in a completely different movie. The Madonna whore complex often activates. As the new supply becomes a fixture in their life, doing laundry, cooking meals, being safe, the narcissist loses sexual attraction to them. They begin to view the new supply as a parental figure or a roommate. They cannot eroticize someone they rely on for stability. They categorize the new supply as the Madonna, respectable, boring, and seek the whore, exciting, dirty, elsewhere. This splitting ensures that the new supply will never be enough to satisfy them fully. The narcissist suffers from anhedonia, the inability to feel pleasure. Deep down, they are empty. They use sex to try and jumpstart their dead emotions. They are like a person furiously rubbing two sticks together trying to make a fire. When the new supply fails to cure their internal emptiness, they get frustrated. They project this frustration onto the partner. They think, If this person was sexier, younger, wilder, I wouldn't feel this empty. They blame the external object for their internal void. Mirroring has an expiration date. In the beginning, the narcissist mirrored the new supply's desires to hook them. They pretended to like what the new supply liked. But mirroring takes energy. It is a performance. Eventually, the narcissist gets tired of acting. The boredom sets in because they are exhausted from pretending to be someone they are not. They drop the act. The amazing lover you heard about? That was a character. The character has left the stage, and the actor is tired and cranky. They crave negative supply in the bedroom too. If they can't get the high of adoration, they will settle for the high of control. They might start to critique the new supply's body, withhold orgasm, or introduce degrading acts that make the partner uncomfortable. Their boredom drives them to become sadistic. Watching the new supply squirm or feel insecure gives them a rush of power that replaces the rush of lust. It is a dark, twisted way to alleviate their boredom. Ultimately, the boredom cycle is a defense mechanism against enmeshment. If they enjoyed sex with the new supply too much, they might become dependent. They might fall in love. That is dangerous. By getting bored, by devaluing the partner, they maintain their superior separation. Boredom is their shield. It tells them, I am better than this person. I deserve more. It keeps them safe in their tower of isolation, looking down on the person who loves them. The turning point arrives when the new supply notices the shift. It happens overnight. One day, the narcissist is insatiable, the next, they are tired. The new supply tries to initiate, wearing the lingerie the narcissist claimed to love, and gets rejected with a cold sigh. Not tonight. I have a headache. You're being needy. The rejection is not just physical, it is a spiritual slap in the face. The new supply is left confused, naked, and ashamed, wondering what they did wrong to kill the passion. This is when the narcissist starts the devaluation stare. Instead of looking at the new supply with hunger, they look at them with clinical scrutiny. They point out a blemish. They mention that the new supply has gained a few pounds. They compare them to a random celebrity or an ex. This is calculated. They are verbalizing their boredom to lower the new supply's self-esteem. If the new supply feels ugly, they won't leave, and they will work harder to please the narcissist. You will see the narcissist's eyes wandering in public. When they are with the new supply, they are scanning the room. They are hunting. This is the boredom scan. They are looking for the next dopamine hit because the person holding their hand is biologically dead to them. The new supply catches them staring at the waitress or the trainer, and a seed of deep insecurity is planted. The narcissist denies it, of course. You're crazy. I was just looking at the menu. Gaslighting becomes the lubricant for their boredom. The bedroom becomes a dead zone. The frequency of intimacy drops to zero, or it becomes strictly transactional. The narcissist might demand oral sex but refuse to reciprocate. They turn the new supply into a service provider. I had a hard day, take care of me. There is no kissing, no eye contact, no aftercare. It is a mechanical release. The new supply feels used, like a human toilet for the narcissist's biological urges. The narcissist introduces triangulation into the bed. They might bring up stories of their wild past with you or another ex right before or after sex. My ex used to do this thing. They are ghost riding the memory of previous partners to try and feel something. They are triangulating the new supply with a phantom. This destroys the new supply's confidence, making them compete with a memory that has been idealized by the narcissist's boredom. Or, they might demand pornography be involved. They can't perform without a screen. They force the new supply to watch things that make them uncomfortable, or they watch it openly while ignoring their partner. They are signaling, you are not enough. I need digital stimulation to tolerate this. The screen becomes the third party in the relationship, the only thing that can wake up the narcissist's dormant libido. The turning point reveals the weaponization of sleep. The narcissist starts going to bed at different times. They stay up late gaming or scrolling, coming to bed only when the new supply is asleep. Or they go to sleep immediately, turning their back, building a wall of pillows. They are physically boycotting the shared intimacy. The bed, once a playground, becomes a Cold War zone of silence and rejection. The new supply starts to perform. Desperate to get the spark back, the new supply tries harder. They lose weight. They learn new tricks. They accept degrading requests. They surrender their boundaries. And the narcissist? They look at this effort with contempt. They see the desperation as pathetic. The more the new supply tries, the more the narcissist is repulsed. Look at how desperate they are. It's disgusting. The narcissist begins future faking to keep the supply hooked. Even though they are bored, they don't want the supply to leave yet, resource guarding. So they promise, once work settles down, we'll go on a trip and reconnect. I'm just stressed right now, it will get better. They dangle a carrot of future intimacy that they have no intention of providing. They are buying time, keeping the appliance plugged in while they shop for a new one. The dramatic realization is that the narcissist is alone in the room. Even when they are inside the new supply, they are alone. They are trapped in their own head, trapped in their boredom, trapped in their inability to love. The new supply is hugging a shell. The turning point is the death of the relationship soul, long before the actual breakup occurs. As the boredom solidifies, the narcissist enters the shadow life. They begin to cheat. It is almost inevitable. The boredom is physically painful for them, so they seek relief. They download dating apps, they message coworkers, they visit massage parlors. They lead a double life. The new supply is at home cooking dinner, thinking they are working late, while the narcissist is out hunting for a spark in the gutter. The mask falls completely. The charming lover is replaced by a grumpy, irritable tyrant. The narcissist resents the new supply for trapping them in a boring relationship, even though the narcissist chased them. They snap at small things. They roll their eyes. They treat the new supply with open disdain. The boredom turns into hatred. They hate the new supply for being a constant reminder of their own inability to be happy. The new supply suffers sexual esteem collapse. They begin to believe they are unattractive. They internalize the rejection. They develop body dysmorphia. They stop initiating. They shrink. They become a ghost in their own house. This is the same collapse you experienced. The new supply is now walking the exact same path of destruction, carrying the heavy burden of the narcissist's pathology. The narcissist experiences paranoid projection. Because they are bored and thinking about cheating, they accuse the new supply of the same. Why are you dressing up? Who are you trying to impress? They project their own disloyalty onto the partner. They interrogate the new supply, creating drama to alleviate their boredom. An argument is better than silence. At least an argument gives them a rush of adrenaline. The discard phase begins in the mind. The narcissist starts to rewrite the narrative. We just drifted apart. We have no sexual chemistry. They tell their friends that the new supply is frigid or crazy. They are setting the stage for the exit. They are pre-validating their departure so they can leave without guilt. They are painting themselves as the victim of a passionless relationship. They might return to you, the ex. This is the Hoover. Bored with the new supply, they look back at the snapshot of you. They forget why they discarded you and only remember the chemistry. They text you, thinking of you. I miss our connection. Do not be fooled. They don't miss you. They are just bored. You are simply an old toy in the closet that looks more fun than the one they are currently playing with. The porn addiction escalates. The narcissist retreats further into digital fantasy. They consume darker, more extreme content because normal stimuli no longer work. Their brain is fried by the need for novelty. They become zombies, staring at screens, unable to get aroused by a real human being. The gap between their fantasy life and their real life becomes unbridgeable. The new supply becomes a nurse with a purse. The relationship shifts from romantic to utilitarian. The narcissist stays only for the resources, the money, the house, the image. They use the new supply as a maid and an ATM, while getting their sexual needs met elsewhere, mentally or physically. The bed is just a place to sleep. The soul murder of the new supply is complete. They are drained, confused, and empty. They have given everything to reignite the flame, and nothing worked. They feel worthless. The narcissist looks at this broken person and feels nothing. Maybe a mild annoyance that they have to deal with the cleanup. The ultimate consequence is a graveyard of intimacy. The narcissist leaves a trail of partners who all feel the same way, used, rejected, and sexually traumatized. The narcissist moves on to the next new supply, convinced that this time it will be different. But the boredom is packed in their suitcase. It travels with them. It is their shadow. So, what is the final truth you must internalize to heal your heart? It is this: the boredom was never about the quality of the supply, it was about the emptiness of the consumer. You could have been a supermodel, a genius, a saint, it wouldn't have mattered. You cannot fill a bucket with a hole in the bottom. The narcissist is biologically wired to reject stability. Their boredom is a symptom of their spiritual death. You must realize that the new supply is not winning. They are enduring. They are currently in the phase of the cycle that hurt you the most. They are feeling the coldness of the person they love. They are crying in the bathroom while the narcissist watches TV. Do not envy their position. Pity their confusion. They are trapped in a burning building that you manage to escape. The boredom cycle confirms that the narcissist is incapable of love. Love is not just a feeling, it is a discipline. It is the ability to find new depth in the same person over years. Narcissists lack this depth. They are skimmers. They skate on the surface of life. They will never know the profound joy of truly knowing and being known by another human being. They are destined to be lonely tourists in the land of intimacy. Reclaim your definition of boring. The narcissist conditioned you to think that peace is boring. That safety is boring. That consistency is boring. That is a lie. Peace is healthy. Safety is sexy. Consistency is the foundation of trust. Do not let a chaotic person define your reality. Real love is not a roller coaster, it is a steady river. You are the one who got away. You are the one who forced them to face their boredom because you refused to be a toy. Your absence is a constant reminder that they cannot control everyone. Let them sit in their boredom. Let them sit in their dissatisfaction. It is the prison they built for themselves. Stop checking the social media highlights. You are looking at a commercial for a product that doesn't exist. Behind the smiles is the silence. Behind the vacation photos is the dead bedroom. Behind the perfect couple image is a narcissist swiping on Tinder in the bathroom. The truth is in the pattern, not the post. Your body is yours again. It is not an object to be evaluated, used, and discarded. It is a sacred vessel. Save it for someone who views intimacy as a communion, not a consumption. Save it for someone who finds you more beautiful the more they know you, not less. The narcissist will die chasing the new. They will age, and the chase will get harder, and the boredom will get deeper. They will end up alone, surrounded by the ghosts of people they threw away. That is their fate. But you? You are free to build a life of depth. You are free to find a love that grows richer with time. You are free to be real. The boredom cycle is broken the moment you realize you weren't boring. They were just too shallow to handle your depth. Walk away and let them drown in the shallow end.